Hi, this is Ashley Victoria Robinson coming to you live from the Popverse here at New York Comic Con, and I am joined by four icons of the Pennyworth / Batman universe: Jack Bannon, Ben Aldridge, Bruno Heller, and John Stevens. Welcome, everyone. How are we doing? How has New York Comic Con been treating you?
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
Weird?
No, I said good to be here. I mean, it is a little weird. It's not the most normal place, but yeah, no, I said good.
I'm a North American. I was already thrown off by the accent. But congratulations on season 3. It drops today. How does it feel to already be in the 3rd season?
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's very odd because these 3 seasons have come out over these last few years of COVID and everything else. So time has kind of been in a time warp, hasn't it? And
Yeah.
It feels like it's been 5 minutes and 10 years at the same time. I've seen these boys grow up in front of me.
Men now.
Look at that moustache.
Is that for the show? That's a character choice?
No, this is for
For the show of life.
this is for the show of life. I guess I just get a bit attached to it, and I just did something else, and then I was like, I want to. I was like, I'm just going to grow it back to feel more like me.
He wanted
This
to
is
be
what happened.
recognised here.
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure everybody knew who he
Oh,
was.
busted. Yeah.
I would love to ask the obvious question, but what is it like and what are the challenges in making a Batman show without Batman? Because he's such an iconic character who looms large over Thomas and Martha and Alfie's story in these seasons.
Well, I suppose really he is present in a very in an Easter egg way, and in the way that what the show does is it looks at the 3 personality types, the Guardian and the 2 parents, that then kind of shape and form who Bruce becomes. So I think we're kind of aware of the sides of, well, certainly Martha and Thomas, Martha being the kind of maverick, heart for justice, vigilante type. Thomas being slightly more forensic, the I would say the brains of it maybe, I don't know, and the very kind of safe. He brings all the sex appeal, the charisma, the charm, and then you've got all the skills and smarts, obviously, and the kind of. I was about to say warfare, but it's not warfare, but it's crime fighting, or of Alfred. So
Skill set.
It's kind of, I suppose it's kind of present, but yeah, not there as an actual figure.
And for Alfred in particular, there's a lot of action in season 3. I was lucky enough to see some of the episodes.
Right.
What kind of training do you do? How do you approach the physicality in this version of the character? Because we're used to seeing Alfred as a stodgy old gentleman.
Yeah.
Still a bit stodgy.
I would have preferred to have played that version, really. But would have been easier.
He practiced ironing for
Yeah.
months before he came
Stir the tea 3 times that way, twice that. No. The training is, minimal, but it is there.
It's all improvised.
I was thinking, I was just going, do I go with extensive and rigorous, or do I go minimal? No, it is there. It is there. We have a great stunt coordinator called Marcus who works with us, and he's, he's very, he likes his previses. He makes these incredible videos with amazing special effects that he does on his phone. So he shows me that with a stuntman, and I'm like, that looks great. I'm never going to be able to do that. And then he teaches me how to do it, and we go through. But yeah, there's a lot in season 3. It really ramps up, and we get to see various new gadgets, which are
But
quite
he's
exciting.
being a bit modest, because you just pick it up really quick. They have me in for hours if I have a stunt. It's like they don't trust me. They're 3 days worth of practicing it. And you just get to set and it's dead.
You talked in a really interesting way about how the show kind of exists in a timeless era for us. It's also in a very timeless era in the setting of the show. What is unique about the Pennyworth audience that they can exist with the show at the same time?
What is unique about the Pennyworth
Yeah,
audience?
like the
Very
fans.
have great taste.
They're all beautiful.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that came out of, this is a long answer to a short, simple question. One of the things that came out in the research is a lot of people who watched and enjoyed the first 2 seasons had no idea it was about Batman's butler. People can enjoy the show in its own right. But I think if you're interested, as people are, in the DC universe, in that Batman mythology, then this is like it says on the tin, it's an origin story, and that's always fascinating. Like you're getting underneath the character, so it's not simply the stunts and the jeopardy, but family and character and how people become who they are. You can't really know someone unless you know their parents and how where they came from. And this is really telling you that about the Batman universe.
It's also, I would say, just because I wasn't on season 1 or 2 and I came on now, it's a much more adult version of many of.
Lots
if
of
you think about
swears.
It, lots of swearing, super violent. I mean, there's some people being drawn and quartered in season 1. Where as a fan of the Batman universe, I watched season 1 and I'm going to go, holy God, this is violent, And I feel like, but it's that, and it's also grounded. So you watch the show, you feel like, oh, it's in the Batverse, but it's a very adult, very intense version of the Bat universe. So, which I think makes it exciting and unique.
Yeah.
And the theme of family is really strong in season 3 as well. Obviously, we have the Wayne child coming to the forefront at the end of season 2, but we're also diving a lot into Mr. Wayne Sr. and more of Mrs. P, who's honestly one of my favorite aspects of the show.
Mrs. P works in the Wayne residence now as the nanny, and dodgy Patrick Wayne turns up, and I think we learn about the family dynamic between Thomas and Patrick that then obviously becomes the repeated inherited dynamic that then will happen between Bruce and Thomas, which is kind of this slightly cold, distant father-son. I suppose that idea of what we all imagine fathers and sons to be, this very idyllic relationship of like going fishing together and all of that, but the reality is hardly ever that, and I think this season taps into the beginnings of that notion and the tension between them. It's very like loaded between them, all of their scenes.
I would also love to ask, because listening to the two of you speak here in your natural accents, what the accent and dialect approach is when you're going to set, because
Wing it.
You're not speaking like this. And then you're speaking in different accents to each other.
Ben does extensive warm-ups. He sits in his car for about 3 hours before he comes out. No, it's just...
He only speaks in American.
Wing it is it.
No, I can be quite kind of like, I will sometimes after listen in just to check that it's all working. And we have someone, not for me darling, but we have someone there. There are a few other people that are playing Americans, that we have someone there to listen in as well. But Emma is Canadian, who plays Martha. She's pretty much American. So she, I will sometimes, if I get something wrong, she'll be like, and she has to do it in such a,
to one side.
she has to do it in such a sweet way as well, because she doesn't want to offend me. She's like, this, because she knows that I'm about to be like, what?
Yeah.
I got what wrong?
Like a proper married couple.
She's giving me notes. She's telling me how to act. I refuse to act with her. But yeah, very thorough preparation.
Yeah. Mine's much closer to my actual voice, which is great. But it really sort of, sometimes I go home and I find myself still like, what's for dinner? I'm in the cupboard. And it's sort of like, because for the 5 months that we're filming it, really we start to go like this, me and him, which is kind of scary. But.
Then lastly, because here in the Popverse we celebrate the best in TV, movies, and comics, I would love to ask everyone, what are you geeking out about right now that you're not working on? Dun, dun, dun.
I'm kind of geeking out over the House of the Dragon. And also Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
I'm enjoying both of those.
Yeah.
For quite different reasons.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying putting both of them on for sure.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings as well. One of my mates is in it, so it's great watching that. And I've just watched Dharma, which is huge, isn't it? And very scary.
Dharma, darker.
Yeah.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
Dharma.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey
That's what he
Dahmer.
says.
Dharma, I thought Dharma like in Dharma.
Like the Dharma
Farm, it's
Initiative?
Karma
Like from
and
Lost?
The
Dharma.
Dharma by Jack Carrick. No. Good book though.
Oh yeah, that's Jeffrey Dahmer joke. You can finish that. Yeah.
Go ahead, you go first.
Eat the brain.
You see, I don't like watching fiction.
Serial killers.
No, well, other shows is like, oh shit, that's
That's
I
really
should have
good.
done that.
I shouldn't have done that.
I'm too jealous and mean to watch other people's success. No, I confess, and this is a tough confession to make. I procrastinate with YouTube, and I've gotten into
Oh, so interesting.
flea market YouTubes, just watching someone walk around a flea market going, oh, look, that model of Hulk Hogan is for $1. I can sell that for $10 on eBay.
So
And it
you're a
goes on
flipper
for
at heart.
hours. No, I'm not. I know. I've never been to a flea market in my life. And
He's
I've
just a
never-
weird voyeur
It's just,
that likes-
well, it's like watching someone going fishing or something.
Yeah.
What are they going to catch? I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Old
Yeah.
T-shirts.
He's giving us a bit of David Dickinson.
It's that, yeah, it's that. Well, it's like,
Switch off.
well, YouTube, those sort of shows on YouTube is exactly what all English telly is like.
Yeah, it's true.
Kind of.
Antics Roadshow, Bargain Hunters.
Well, David
Oh,
Dickinson,
make
like you
a
said,
cup of
yeah.
tea, and we're going to watch this man put a shelf up.
I think Grand Designs would beg to differ.
Well, anyway, that's what I'm talking about.
Weird little insight into you, that.
That's a great nugget.
Oh, I have two sons who are 9 and 11 now, and they're just getting into comic books.
Yes.
So we go now like on a weekly basis to the store, and I spend way too much money on them. But I just bought them the Miller run of Daredevil that came out when I was a kid, and they started to read them, and then I reread them with them, and which are just so good still.
Amazing.
They're so amazing. Yeah.
Now, so much more of the fights and the action makes sense to me. All the brain children behind Pennyworth, thank you so much for joining us here today at New York Comic Con in the Popverse.